Hello everyone, my name is Jared. Welcome back to part 2 of my scrap trike and stupid gnats. Yes, stupid gnats. This video is sponsored by stupid gnats. Okay, actually back to the serious part. Today I'm actually working on the spokes, making the front spokes. I currently have the spokes I'm gonna be chopping up, and I'm using this as the reference. So I'm gonna jerry-rig this thing up. And there we go. Okay, this is not, I don't like how this is looking. Yeah, this is just all improvised. There we go. So, okay. What this is supposed to do is, I have the tire, and I removed the brake pads on them. I removed the little pads in them, and basically, I made the all-famous Trike's pedal dealio. So, yeah. There's that. And now, this is what I'm doing. And I'm following after several videos, trying to think, there has to be another option. I have no choice but to follow that option, and to chop half the spokes, about 4 teeth off the spokes, on opposite sides exactly. I don't really know exactly truly, but according to the video, technical difficulties, but what I need to do is get some of this flat bar, and cut a swatch out of it, and bend it so that it will neatly fold over and fit over the spokes. Here. And then once I do that, the fun part, since I now know I'm gonna have to modify them, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this to fit. And the one idea is to get the main idea, one way is to buy some fittings so that the forks will fit perfectly over this. But my other idea, which is somewhat of a cheatsy doodle way, is to cut these off. When I get some money out, I'm gonna buy some cutting discs, and I'm gonna cut these off, attempt to salvage these, and then put them on, then bolt them onto the wheel, and then with the welder, I'm gonna weld them back onto the forks, but on a new mount. Since they'll be reoriented, I will weld them on, tack them on, then I'll move the wheel and fully weld them on. And since my original intentions was to make this into a drift trike, but I don't have them. I literally don't have enough. I have the money. I have enough money to buy parts, but I don't have enough money to get the back wheels I wanted. So I actually have a pair of wheelbarrow tires I shall be using for the time being that are at my grandparents' house, which I'll be using until I get the said parts I need. But as I always do before, I'm going to explain how I'm going to do it, how this is done. Actually, what you do is, if you want to figure out how to remove the sprocket from here, well, okay, here is the sprocket from the BMX bike. Focus, damn you. Okay, how it is here's the sprocket. There's these 3 little holes that it fits around. And there's this little ring that goes around it, which holds it in place. Which you basically ought to do, if it's right here, you just get a pair of pliers and a flat blade screwdriver, and you pop this off, and it comes out with these. I have this taken apart because I've messed up and I can't recover from it. So I'm just going to use this as my salvage bin. But, as far as I can see, actually... No, that ain't gonna work. But I always think, I try to think at least, But once it does, once I do think, it actually works pretty well. So, what you gotta do, mount this down. I have it mounted against this, and I'm using the flat edge of the plywood, of this piece of wood, which is a piece of a small pallet, and I cut it flush. Then once you do that, you put this back onto the bike tire, and then you get your flat bar, some flat bar. I keep calling it sheet metal for some strange reason, for habit's sake. Sue me, I don't care. But you find center. Well, you get it to the center as possible. You get a drill and drill up the hole the same diameter as this threaded bar, as the threaded axle hub. Just axle, no hub. This is the hub. That's the axle right here. And then once you get that, you place it on. You put, with the spoke installed, you place it and have it bent so that and you have it bent so the pieces of metal are right up against this. Then you weld the flat bar to the hub, to the axle, and then you then you grab your handle, your pedals, your bicycle pedals. Let me grab my Magnum frame. I may be using this for my second. I may be using this as a Trike frame as well. This will be my. But you chop the pedals off. Actually, I think I have enough to make. No, I don't. Well, I have two big old tires I can make a Trike out of. But you cut the pedals off. You just cut them off. Yeah, you just indiscriminately. You discriminately cut them off. I'm saying these things poorly. I don't think, but you cut your pedals off, and then with those pedals, you weld them on. You weld them onto here. You weld them onto the axle. I'm probably going to weld mine to the bolt. Weld mine to the bolts, and I'm probably going to get the special threaded ones, or I'm going to get two bolts, weld them together, and you know the gist. I don't know. This is all my improvised thinking, but overall, I'm quite impressed with how it works. How far I've gotten, as I have never gotten to anything so far. This is basically my first build, and I'm gonna have to confess, it's a lot easier than building a gun. No tolerances. Well, I have to get the tolerance because there is this tolerance. This thing is very loose. This thing is held on with merely a bolt. This bolt is merely holding everything together, and it is very wonky. I'm probably gonna have to get some thread. Actually, I have some thread lock somewhere. Either that or I'm gonna have to use some super glue. I don't care. But regardless, I have basically the supplies and materials to make it. I just don't have I have everything I have to make it. I just don't have a welder, which is the one thing I need for this build. I need to weld this on. I need to weld the frame on. Well, I need to weld this on. I need to put the supports. I need to put a support bracket right here so in case my weld's gone bad. I need to put a piece of flat bar onto here for additional support. I gotta do this. And then the fun part is having to get brakes, because I don't have access to any brakes aside from my two right feet. But I can easily get that with a bit of salvaging from my brother's bike. But until then, I'm still working on it. No instructions needed. You look for you want instructions, you go check out other people's channels, not mine. I just show what I'm learning. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. I'm horrible. Please apologize for my horrible grammar, but what you do is you look at my video, you're like, okay, so I'm basically watching a kid who's watching the same video as I am, just learning how to do it in the same way. But anyway, my name's Jared. See ya.